I'm going to do what they call an easy sourdough. But first we start with the starter. Oh, I need one more of these. I won't mess up the starter this time. And long form videos, anything past half of an hour, is really messing with the RAM on my computer, so I have to be careful of that too. Anyways, good morning. Let's do this. Distilled water, all-purpose flour, one very cold starter, and my fridge is cold. There is not a temperature. It's just cold, really cold. Medium cold, not so cold, a little less cold. Which is fine too. We'll use this. I don't know where the bamboo one went. I'll be very content when everything is settled. So she's been in the fridge. I always call her she. Since my last bake. I haven't fed her anymore. So she hasn't got the liquid on top, or the hooch, as it's called. Which means that she's fairly active. This will be all-purpose flour. And that's the other thing. I will have a proper setup. That's okay. All right. Oops. I don't know where that went. So still many bubbles, but quiet starter. See? Heaping. The little quarter cup thing with the broken handle is in the dishwasher. Should start working with scales, but in case you don't have one. And truthfully, it is a science, don't get me wrong. But it's also cooking by feel. Baking by feel. There we go. Just under quarter cup. Room temperature distilled water. I'm only going to do, I suppose I could do 2 sourdoughs at the same time again. Same result. Let's see how much starter I have. There's still plenty in the fridge. There we go. This one feels a little thicker, but possibly because it's cold. Still the same result in the end. All right. A spatula, scooch that down. No mistakes on this one. This is your, leave a little bit of room for air to get out. It doesn't have to be properly, fully sealed. And there's the elastic. Now, where's my measurements? That's from last time. This also works. That's why I put that on last time. All right, so we have So, according to the coffee pot stove, we're looking at 5:38 in the morning. Oh, my hair. I have to find a Sharpie. I tied it up again. I don't know where I put anything. Can you see that? So that's about 200 mil. Should be enough after it's all bubbled up to do 2 new loaves for comparison. We'll be doing the 4-cup sourdough instead of the 2.5-cup sourdough. Should have more than enough, including what I've got in here. Uh-oh. And this is, we're done for now. Bear's upset. 6:58 a.m. I did this at 5:38, so that's an hour-ish. And you can see it's already starting to rise. So I'll come back. 4 hours is typical. 2 hours is reasonable. Just keeping an eye on it. Okay. Let's see what you guys can see. Time is currently 7:48. Here. I will work on this so it makes sense to everybody, including me. That should work. All right. So at 7:48, the bubbles have come up. We're not, I'm going to give this another hour. You can actually see it rising. So there's nothing wrong with my starter. She is happy and healthy. Even cold from the fridge, she's rising. I don't want to move it. Again, I'm having some problems with the RAM on my computer. Somewhere in there it is storing the videos. I've got to figure out how to get the older ones off, even though I'm deleting them. I'm going to put the measurements together for the bread. Okay, so it is 7:57. I'm just making sure that I'm writing everything down instead of going by eye. And I'm going to have to get Tori out quick. Of course my pen's going to run out. Oh, for goodness sakes. My life is a comedy of errors, and that's fine. Okay, so we have 4 cups all-purpose flour. 1.5 cups of distilled water, room temperature. I will have this all on my blog. And I'm going to give sourdough a break for a little bit until I need another loaf of bread. 1/2 cup starter. Fully risen. It's almost there, eh? If you're watching. And then 1.5 teaspoons of salt. You must have salt to get bread to rise. I figured that out the hard way too. And then you don't have to do what they call an autolyse. You can, but it isn't truly necessary. So I'll just put this, call this one all-purpose. Makes 1 loaf. Total time can be anywhere from 8 hours to 24, depending on how you're proofing it. Prep time. Not even going to do that. All right. Baking cakes and stuff? Absolutely. Write down your... Oh, right. We're baking at 4:55 for this one. 4:45. 4:45. So I'm going to come back in an hour. I will put these videos together on a playlist. And again, you'll have the blog as a backup. I just want you to see what I'm doing, as well as you'll have a reference for the reading, for checking information. Sourdough's not hard, folks. It's really not. It's just getting a feel for it. And don't be afraid. Truly, it's just bread. It's lovely bread. Something I've done too in the past. I won't do it on this one. But I've got tons of fennel that needs to get used up. I made biscotti yesterday, but this fennel in the bread dough itself, lovely. It truly is, if you like that little bit of licorice flavor. Not doing it for this one, but many recipes to come. This is a 1.5 years, 2 years in the making, but I have many things to do too. So I'm going to check on my dog. It's currently now 8 o'clock a.m. See you in a bit. So we're doing the all-purpose easy sourdough, which is heavier. It's a lower hydration, and it is 4 cups of all-purpose flour, 1.5 cups of distilled water, a half cup of starter, which is fully risen, which I will knock this down after I've put everything together in this bowl. And then 1.5 teaspoons of salt. So autolyse, where you let it sit for an hour, because I'm in Ontario with a higher humidity rate, I'm not going to do that. If you're in a place like Arizona, Alberta, places where you're not sitting like next to a lake, you try the autolyse. Try it both ways, right? If you don't know what autolyse is basically you take your flour and the water and you let it hydrate before you add the starter. Both ways work. Oh, this is too much. Both ways work. That's 2. 3. We're going to go as a full 4, and in future, like I said, I do have a weight scale. It's just tucked in a box that I've put away, and until I get more surface space, this is how I'm doing it. Salt. Where's my salt? There you go. That's half. A little too much. Just a sec. People have used as much as 2 full teaspoons. That's up to you. Your taste buds. All right, so I will grab a wooden spoon. Actually, let's stick to silicone for now. I won't be able to do both the whole wheat and this one at the same time. I don't have a bowl big enough unless I switch to metal, but then that switches temperature conduction. The glass will hold the temperature different than the stainless steel or a metal bowl. If it was ceramic, I'd risk it, but I might have to buy more bowls. I sold everything thinking I was downsizing. Gave some stuff away to my niece, and I'm happy I did it. But yeah, I should learn. All right, so 1.5 cups of starter for a lower hydration dough. Distilled room temperature. You can change the temperature to get a faster rise, but we're not doing that today. Just under 1.5. up a bit. I like the higher hydration, truthfully. Okay. So she's starting to dome up. I'm gonna mix the dough, which is technically an autolyse, but I'm not letting it sit for an hour. I'm just gonna mix it all together now. Why? Because I'm giving the yeast a little bit more time. I still find this very heavy, but everybody's got a different palate for bread. Off comes the ring. Last of the water. Okay. So half a cup of starter, knocked back. It's been growing as we've been speaking. If you're not using a scale, knock your sourdough back. Get some of the bubbles out because you want more starter than less. For some people, that might be where they're having their challenges. Go check out other channels too. I have a whole blog about this, but there's lots of people with videos that are using the scientific method. There we go. Okay, knock back. So you see what I'm doing. All right. A little bit more than half, but basically half. I still have plenty of sourdough left in there. I'm just going to tuck her back in the refrigerator because this is sticky. No point to feeding her anymore. She will actually keep rising. And I have my original that I moved in with. Haven't fed it again. I'll show you more about that later. First off, hold on. I'm just knocking her back. This isn't going to make a huge difference. There. Okay, down, back in the refrigerator. Time, by the way, is 9:14, if I didn't already say it. Got the date on this, so now I know. Okay. And here we go. This very stiff. I might get my hands in this. Be easier. I had washed my hands before I did all this, sorry. And it's my bread. I just find this so dry. Okay. Still a fair amount of flour at the bottom until that's worked in a bit more. It will take time for the flour to hydrate thoroughly. Thankfully, osmosis exists. There we go. The water is starting to move through it. Get your hands in too. It's a great way to feel what's going on. This is not a sticky dough. It's a grabby dough. This recipe also is easier to do add-ins such as olives, other wet vegetables or fruits. If you're doing dried fruits, you want to go to a little bit more moisture. I'd say about 1/8 of a cup. All right, we're gonna let her settle. So I really want to show you here. Pretty much all the flour's been worked in. Now I'll leave it alone. We're going to do the stretch and fold when it gets to about double its size. Don't want to take out too much. And keep the tea towel underneath or a mat or something so you're not getting, well, I suppose it's not as important. You don't have people coming in and out, you don't have open windows, but still, consistent temperature. Okie dokie. My lid. There you go. Had a little bit of flour loss, but not enough to worry about. Okay, I'm going to use the trivets from Christmas. There you go. Lots of flour. It's a mess. It's okay. So I know it's not as cold in the apartment today because there is condensation on the inside of the windows. Things are not frozen. All right, we were going to give this half an hour. Time is 9:22. I'm going to grab a piece of tape. So it's approximately -5 today. There we go.